Hello everyone! Today I will show you how to make two recipes. And you're probably wondering what that strange looking thing next to me is that will create two recipes. So this is a pork fat. In the US you can find it as pork belly fat. I've seen it, so I think you should not have a problem find it. Or if you see any fat that has a nice height, and also make sure that it has some meat on it, because I will show you how to make pork cracklings and also lard. And for the cracklings, it's better if there is some meat on it. Some prefer less meat, some prefer more meat. I like it just like middle ground. So definitely make sure there is a meat, and also make sure that there is no skin of the actual pig on it, and I will show you how it's supposed to look like, because part of this has still skin on, so we will have to trim it off. So let's start create these two amazing recipes. So first I like to wash it. So wash it from all sides. And here I have already a cutting board, so I shake off some water, and now you will have nice and greasy hands, so I will wash them with soap. Prepare a large pot and make sure that you pick the one that doesn't stick as much. And now I'm going to show you. So here is the skin of the pig. So that we will trim it very thinly, like just to get the skin out, because they already trim it from most of it. Sometimes they can just forget little parts. And we will discard this. And now we will cut it into cubes. Some like the cracklings, and as we call it in Czech, Škvarky. Some like it smaller, some like it bigger. I prefer smaller ones, so I will cut it on smaller pieces, and also it's faster made when it's smaller. And lard in Czech is called Sádlo. So about like this, like a ½ inch. And here you can see that this part has no meat at all, and then this one has some more. So it will be a nice mix of cracklings. And I found some more of the skin, so I want to show you the difference. So this is the skin, and this is without the skin. It's all very smooth. So just cut it off. It's all chopped now, and this was 2.5 pounds of pork fat. Now some people would add water, but I've never done it with water. I always use it like this because it just works for me, and I prefer it this way. So you will have to stir it a lot before they get hot and start to release the fat. So the first part is the hardest because it will want to stick. So put it on a low flame, and we will be stirring. You will not put any salt in now, just plain pork fat, and that's it. And when it starts to heat up, it will start to release lard, and the cracklings will be nicely frying in that hot lard. Also, one warning, it smells very strong. So I recommend you open some windows, or you do it when your spouse is not home, because they might be not so happy about the smell. But that's what it takes to create pork cracklings and lard. And look, it already starts to be shiny on the bottom, releasing the lard. Our Czech tradition during winter is what's called zabíjačka. And it's like a pork killing and portioning, and this would be done during winter outside, usually in the villages, and it would be portioned, and they would make the jitrnice, they would make škvarky, sádlo, soup. They will just use every part of the pig. And this takes about half an hour, depending on the size of the cubes. But it's releasing more and more lard or fat. And it might a little bit stick, which is okay because then we will strain it. But try to scrape off the bottom if you see some burns, so it just doesn't keep burning more. Sometimes in US, when I would buy pork ribs, there would be more fat on it. So I would chop off the fat with some meat, and I would just make smaller portion of cracklings, which was delicious, and this way I didn't have to throw away the fat. When there is more fat released, I hope you can see, then you don't have to stir it as often. Just let them sit for a while, just so they can release more fat. But you can keep checking if it's sticking or not. But still stir it, just not continuously. You can let it rest a little bit. Meanwhile, prepare a smaller pot with a ladle, because what I like to do, I like to remove the lard, the fat, so it doesn't get too burned, because this way you keep the nice white color. So when there is plenty of fat for the cracklings, then I will just start to removing it. At this point, I will start removing some lard. Just make sure that you leave plenty for the cracklings to be fried in. When we will strain it whole, then I will put a strainer in to catch any pieces. And they might sometimes jump or a little explode, so don't be surprised by that. That's why I wear apron. And now it depends on your preference. If you like them not as crispy, then you would stop now. But I like them crispy. This is for me still not enough. Also, some people at the end, they would put milk in there. They say for better color of the cracklings, but I don't like to do that, because then you are introducing a milk into a lard, and to me it's just compromising how long it will last. So I'm not going to do that, and I never did it. I just don't see a need of it. Now I pull the strainer, because now there is not as much lard, so I don't want to have pieces in it. And this is it. Now I'm done, so let's turn it off, and I will strain it. So now I will pour it through a strainer. And now I pick it up and I give a squeeze, just a little bit. It's still coming out, the fat. Some people like it hot like this. We put salt on it and eat it with the bread. And some like it when it cools off, because right now the fat is liquid in there, so it's more just a different taste. I just love it both ways. When it's hot, of course I will have some, and then when it's cold, I also enjoy it. So this is good. So I will set it aside. And now the lard will need to cool off, and then it will whiten. You can put it into some jar or something to store it in, or just a pot and put a lid, but you will need to keep it in a cold place. So now I'm going to taste test. You know, in the Czech Republic or Slovakia, you can find these in the stores or in special booths. Oftentimes they have them, especially during winter. But in US, I just was missing it. So it's a great way to make them your own. So when I was missing them, I would make it. So now you can try it also. It's super simple, it's fast. So let's try. And they're really tiny. So if you like bigger cubes, just cut them larger. Crispy. And it's good to eat it with some rye bread. So good. I sprinkle the salt on top, and you can leave it with the salt. You can put the salt all over or salt it as you eat it. It's up to you. So these are amazing. When the lard is cooled off, I will also show you how it hardens, how it looks. And just wait when it's colder, a little more colder, before you transfer it into any glass containers because they might shatter otherwise. So I'm going to enjoy these, and when the lard is ready, I will pop up and just talk about the lard. It took a while for the lard to harden, and it's actually not done hardening. But I wanted to at least put it on a slice of bread, which worked out. But it's the best if you leave it overnight in a cold place. I recommend fridge. Just keep it in the fridge. And now I wanna try it. But before that, I wanna tell you how we traditionally eat it. We would put it on the piece of bread. The traditional rye all-purpose mix bread, and then we would sprinkle some raw onion on it. Or also, what's a really great combination is to put it on the bread, a thin layer, and eat it with the apple. I know it sounds crazy, but it's so good. It just somehow works, this combination. And I know that for some it might sound weird and strange to put lard on a bread, but it's common to have it for dinners in the Czech Republic. We would just use the whole pig, and this was one of the things how to use it for a nice dinner. Also, this is great for frying because it has a low smoke point, which means that it can handle high temperatures. So you can fry food on it and it will be great. Sometimes it's better than oil, I would say. Also, you would use it as a base for goulash or even for baking, bread rolls, for example, rohlíky. Some would bake with lard. So it's very nice thing to have. This recipe actually makes more than this, but this is a nice jar and I want it for the photos. It makes 2.5 cups of liquid, and this was less than 2. I forgot that I need to sprinkle some salt on it. Because this lard has no salt, you need to put the salt if you want to use it for food. Like me right now eating it with the raw onion. But for example, if you want to fry on it, you just leave it as it is. Or it's also good as a base for some like special lotions, healing lotions. You add some herbs. So this is good to use without salt, because if you have any wounds, it would be hurtful. So that's why we don't add any salt during the process of making the cracklings and making the lard. So let's go for it. Here it is. It's just a great combination. It's good. It's good with the raw onion. Also try it with the apple. I wouldn't put necessarily salt when you eat it with the apple. Just try it. It's an amazing combination. And you just want a thin layer, you don't want to overdo it. But it depends on the preference. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will make it if you enjoy this kind of food. If you like the video, put thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notified when I have new videos. And like me on Facebook. I have lots of people following from all over the world. which is a great community of people. Also, I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And I hope that you have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys!